You guys, we need to talk about the growing hunger strikes and labor strikes across the country, protesting the absolutely inhumane and deplorable conditions in every single ICE detention center. Let's get into it. I am reading off of my own personal report that you can go access through the description on my YouTube. And you can also see the sources that I used. This is going to be a quick one. So, due to the absolute inhumane conditions recorded in ICE concentration camps all across America, people in these facilities are organizing hunger strikes and working with allies on the outside to protest the life-threatening conditions they face on a daily basis in these camps. Human rights violations have been reported in ICE detention centers for decades, but since the Trump administration has ordered for the indiscriminate deportation and detention of essentially all immigrants except in so-called extraordinary cases, abuse against hostages has only ramped up. Abuses and one recorded death so far in Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark, New Jersey has further sparked these strikes and protests, and now the movement is growing rapidly. A note from the detention center, originally written in Spanish, signed by over 300 of the hostages, details the conditions in Delaney Hall people are facing. Some of the lived experiences include gross violations of the people's due process and civil rights. The note, translated into English, reads, "By the means of the present, we take the liberty of providing an account of the situation that thousands of immigrants are living in detention centers. In this case, we speak directly of Delaney Hall, New Jersey 07105. Initially, we ask for forgiveness for the way we entered the United States, but given the circumstances we were living in our countries, which placed our lives and those of some members of our families in danger. At the moment of entry, we turned ourselves in to border authorities, who processed us, and some of us were granted parole or given a court date to continue with our process, in accordance with the opportunity granted to us by the Constitution and the laws of the United States. Likewise, we had periodic check-ins in order to report to the authorities. We also obtained work permits, Social Security, we filed taxes, and we were working legally and contributing to the country's economy. We must also mention that within this group there are individuals who crossed the border, integrated into society, formed families, and have lived in the country for over 10 years or more with their citizen children, who, despite not having legal status, have also been paying their annual taxes and have a clean record. We find individuals from the LGBTQ plus community with diagnoses of illness such as HIV, cancer, diabetes, heart problems, among others, who are not receiving proper medical attention for the aforementioned condition. We know that ICE agents have ordered to arrest immigrants, but in our cases, we had already been processed. We were complying with legal requirements, and there was no order from a judge for our detention or arrest, since from our entry, we received a procedural benefit. However, ICE officers did not take into account the fact that there was already an immigration court date and they arrested us during check-in appointments at USCIS facilities. Even with credible fear approved, we have been subject to court proceedings where attorneys are afraid to represent us because they state that there is a presidential order to deport as many people as possible without reviewing each case individually, where judges are denying a high number of cases, dismissing them. There are days where judges Shauna W., Hawks Joshua, and Ramin Rastegab have more than 40 hearings to review and study how due process should be applied, yet within minutes they make final decisions, issuing deportations and expulsions. Many hearings are canceled, leaving detainees waiting months for a court date. In the same way, prosecutors file motions to send individuals to Latin American countries such as Ecuador, Guatemala, Honduras, and even Uganda in Africa, countries with equal or worse conditions of violence and persecution from which we are fleeing. Even individuals from those same countries are currently on U.S. soil seeking safety and protection so they may continue defending their immigration cases. This has led many people under pressure to accept and sign voluntary departure to their countries of origin at the expense of the danger to which we may be exposed. In these courts, judges inform the detainee that they can purchase a plane ticket to return to their country of origin, but the ICE officer denies that possibility, evidencing contradictions among government officials themselves. Likewise, there are cases of individuals who already have their voluntary departure signed and deportations approved by judges, waiting 2 or 3 months to be sent to their country of origin. We feel vulnerable and, in a way, kidnapped, detained without justification, because they are hostages. Not to mention that we are being tortured physically and psychologically due to the poor food resources provided in these detention centers. We see with deep helplessness and frustration that our due process, rights, and defense have been violated, disregarding benefits granted under the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments of the United States Constitution. Families are being destroyed and separated, where there are children, nieces, and minors who are suffering a very strong psychological impact because they do not understand the situation, and in some cases, they have witnessed the arrests of their relatives who have been struck by tragedy and the economic burden, since in most cases, we are heads of household. It is public knowledge that agents have arrested individuals with physical limitations, such as deaf, mute, blind individuals, elderly persons, and even pregnant women. We see young people with approved juvenile status cases with whom we are living in detention centers. There is also a high spread of COVID-19 in detention centers, and the flu is constant among detainees, which could lead to outbreaks of illness or epidemics. In addition to the above, in certain courts, we do not have interpreters or translators. We are certain that we are not being processed equally under immigration laws and the Constitution. We have seen fellow detainees with residency, U visas, T visas, among other similar cases. We have seen judges in this detention center who are ready to carry out deportations and mass expulsions without properly reviewing cases. We live in anguish and fear of appearing in court. We are witnessing how judges are disregarding decisions of federal judges, for example, not honoring habeas corpus rulings decided by a federal judge, depriving us of our liberty. Judges Shinshana W., Hawks Joshua, and Raman Rastigar accuse us of being a danger to the United States of America, or alternatively, declare that we will flee from immigration agencies, even though they have adequate monitoring tools such as GPS, ankle monitors, and constant check-ins at immigration offices. There are individuals who have been detained for 5 months or more, who have been denied bond more than once, despite having a clean record and an approved habeas corpus. We sincerely and earnestly ask for help from senators, Congress members, foundations, and organizations that collaborate with immigrants. Our American dream is the safety and protection of our families. We are in a difficult situation, and we trust in God and believe that justice will be done under the law of the United States of America, since it is a sovereign and constitutional country respected worldwide for upholding human rights. Again, you can access the sources that I used through the description in my YouTube and read my personal report as well. Peace and love, and continue to inform yourself, continue to educate yourself, and do what you can to speak up for the people who are being held hostage in ICE detention centers right now under absolutely insidious and inhumane conditions. Be the damn change.